Okay guys, let's roll. Background image, second ship I loved, HMS Moncton, patrol vessel, took her out to Hong Kong. Took a long time, a long time. Visited lots of ports, got to Hong Kong, had a fabulous time. Didn't want to come back. What can you do? Right, let's get on with the show. We're going to be talking about Rupert Lowe and Tucker Carlson, interviewing him, trying to see how the world works. Let's see what they have to say, shall we? And if they don't give you an answer, I will.
I look at what's happening in Ireland, and I know complicated relationship between the two countries, but what's happening to Ireland with mass migration is basically identical to what's happening here in Great Britain, and it's also happening in Australia and Canada and the US. It's so close, like almost precise. It's the same template. That cannot be what is that? What are the forces pushing that?
Well, I think we have to ask ourselves, why did the post-war elite think that this experiment with multiculturalism was a good idea?
Yes.
And I don't think any of them have ever really answered that question. I think, obviously, Ireland is a function of what's happening here. I mean, you obviously got the wretched Northern Ireland Protocol, which morphed into the Windsor Agreement, which is shocking division of the United Kingdom, which effectively was if you like, sacrificed on the altar of Brexit. But on the multiculturalism, and again, this goes to, you probably know, we've got a big...
Can I repeat what you just said? Because I think I want the question to hang in the air. Why did the post-war elite, I think I'm quoting you, decide that this multiculturalism experiment was a good idea?
I don't know. I think it's a thoroughly bad idea.
Ben knows. I know, Ben knows. Most of you people who follow this channel know. Ben just doesn't want to say it. It can prove fatal. Ask Charlie Kirk.
I like
so
nation states who interface with each other, who respect each other, who respect each other's culture, and who basically, interface with each other like that to try and create this. And again, does it go to the World Economic Forum? Is it the Bilderbergers? Is it the Council on Foreign Relations? Look,
I've got to stop him there, guys. You heard Ben then mention the Bilderbergers. In 1976, that's the first time. I just left the Royal Navy, and I was told about the Bilderbergers when I went up to London, and I thought they were barking mad. And in the press, any talk of Bilderbergers was dismissed as a conspiracy theory, and we were all conspiracy freaks. Likewise, there was talk of the Bohemian Grove. That didn't exist either, they told the people, but it did. And now, here I am, about 50 years later, everybody knows who the Bilderbergers are, and everybody knows about the Bohemian Grove and what goes on there. Took a long time to be vindicated.
Where does the truth lie? I mean, I find it, probably like you do, incredibly difficult to work out where the truth lies, often in our modern age. Most people want to live a healthy life centered around their community and their family, and they want to, be able to wake up in the morning and feel that they've done the right thing by everybody. But it does seem that there is this malign agenda to break down families, to break down communities, to create this multicultural world where, I guess, arguably a small global elite are able to exert undue influence on how everybody else leads their lives. That's the only solution I can come up with with my limited intellect, but it doesn't add up, does it? It doesn't.
Sorry, Rupert. He knows, he's smiling. He knows. Oh dear. But he's making a pretty good fist of it here. I mean, there's a book out there where it's all documented. It's called the Kalergi Plan. I'll leave a link to it in the description. You can buy it on Amazon. You want to know what's coming? Read the Kalergi plan. Why is it coming? I might tell you. I won't tell you in this video, though. Maybe another one. Hee. What do they call that? The Perils of Pauline, those old films. A cliffhanger. Yeah. So you'll come back next week.
Makes sense.
Honestly, it doesn't. And I remember hearing people 30 years ago hint that there was some multinational or pan-global conspiracy from the groups you just mentioned, and thinking this is obviously a mentally ill person talking. And now you just watch the accumulated evidence is overwhelming. This is not organic. It's not the product of democracy.
It's not in the interest of our country. It's not in the interest of your country.
No one wants it.
It's not in the interest of Ireland, and none of the electorate want it. So
how are we getting it all at the same time?
Well, it's a very good question, Tucker. I just don't know the answer to that. But
look, Ben, you do know the answer. You're not going to tell him, so I'll tell him. Let me show you how the way the world works, guys. There you go. This isn't the best out there. There are better ones, but here's how the way the world works, okay? We are down here, right on the bottom, on the green grass. Yeah, that's us. That's all the peasants. And then the ones who you think make the decisions above us are the government. Two-tier Kia. They decide nothing. They decide jack shit. They just do what these people above them, the big multi-corporations, tell them to do. These are the ones who help them with money and stuff like that, yeah? So you've got the multinational corporations on that level. Above them then, you've got the banks. Now, talking about these corporations here, you go into a supermarket and there are 5 different brands of beans. Brand A, B, C, D, E, yeah? And you think, oh, you've got choice. You've got no choice, really, because if you do a bit of research, you will find out that the 5 companies that make the 5 different brands of beans are all owned by another company above them. And above that is another company. It's one big web. And when you follow it up, you'll find that there's about half a dozen giant multinational corporations like, say, Unilever, or back in the day was BAT, British American Tobacco. They own almost everything. And then above them, you've got the banks. Yeah. It helps if you understand quantitative easing and fractional reserve banking. It's not difficult to understand. So you've got them above them. But then above them, you've got the central banks, yeah, pulling the strings. And the pyramid is becoming narrower as it goes to the top. Then you have the World Bank. Yeah, they lend money, steal the resources. For example, let's say Greece. Greece was in financial trouble. They lent her money, lots of money, and then what did Greece have to do? It had to sell their islands off. And who buys these islands? These people up here. We'll come to them now in a second. So you follow it up there. More banking. All the time, they're enforcing control over us with the military and the police forces that you see on the left. And all the time, the wealth of the world is being siphoned off to these people who are living in all these islands around the world, luxury places, never having to mix with the people down here at the bottom of the pyramid. They don't even talk to these bloody governments. They just sit up there in their giant ivory tower and send their directives down via this chain of command, the minions. And who are these people in this pyramid? 1% of the world's wealth is, 99% of the world's wealth is owned by 1% of the population. But of that 1%, 0.1% is made up of just between 7 and 13 families. I've read the names of 13 families, but I've also just seen 17 families. And you can go and for that for yourself. One of the names is obviously the Rothschilds, the Warburgs. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, guys. I've got it somewhere. And these are the guys who control it. They are the elite. They are the guys who decide the future of the world. Why are they doing this to us? I've got a theory as to why they do that. And to some it might sound far-fetched, but I'm very, very rarely wrong if I follow my research through. So how can we destroy that? How can we make change? The only way you can make change is to first of all take control of the governments, not just in the United Kingdom, but in the Western world, and bring in nationalist governments, patriotic nationalist governments that can all work in unity together, and then simultaneously arrest all the directors of these companies, confiscate all their assets, break up the multinational companies and make them independent again, strip the banks and the banks back over to control of the people, take these people out and send them away for a while. That applies to them, and gradually bring down the entire pyramid until this lot come crashing down. Then you put them on one of their islands, plenty of water, no food, and let them eat each other and stream it live. So now you know how the world works. Did that help you, Ben? That's how it all works, Ben. If you won't say it, I will. Guys, you've been listening to The Green Arrow. Oh dear, it's all fun. See you on the next one. Oh no, I told you that video I made about the split in America. You should really watch it if you want to know what's going to happen, okay? You just better pray that Donald Trump wins. And for the record, President Putin of Russia is not your enemy. Behind the scenes, President Trump and President Putin are very much aligned, and they want to bring down this global system. Anyhow, guys, like I said, you've been listening to Paul Morris. See you on the next one. I'm going to go watch an episode of Father Ted. I've started watching him again. Oh, poor old Dermot Morgan. He died right after the last episode of the last series, which was kind of him, I suppose. Bye now.